Soccer rivalry is like no other. When two teams square up, with their history and competitiveness against each other, they always give it their all. The importance of bragging rights in football is immeasurable, which is why every team wants to come out on top against their rivals. There are countless rivalries in competitive world soccer, but we will pick out the 10 best ones in terms of their history and intensity. Number 10. Celtic vs Rangers. The derby between Celtic and Rangers is termed the Old Firm Derby, two of the most successful clubs in Scotland. This derby is fiercely contested and responsible for generating a lot of revenue for the teams and the league. This rivalry holds such high importance because, more than the clubs competing against each other, it is considered a clash of ideologies. The match also has a lot of hooliganism, with fans involved in fights and clashes against each other. The players going into this game know its importance and how a good result is needed by all means necessary. The Rangers are ahead in this fixture's head-to-head record, winning 168 matches compared to Celtic's 161. Their last game ended in a draw. Number 9. Liverpool vs Everton. This rivalry might be one-sided in accolades, but the Merseyside derby has always been a treat, especially if you're a neutral. Liverpool and Everton are situated less than a kilometer from each other, and that's probably it. The intensity on match days between the fans of both teams is through the roof. The aggression of this derby can be seen by the fact that this game holds the record for most sending-offs in the Premier League. Liverpool has the winning record in this derby, but now and then Everton does manage to nick a win. Number 8. Atletico Madrid vs Real Madrid. The Madrid derby is similar to the Merseyside derby in terms of the teams and their difference in accolades. Real Madrid is the second most successful club in Spain, and the most successful in terms of European success. But when the competition comes down to a local rivalry, they edge out their rivals Atletico Madrid by a very fine margin. The most memorable clash between the two was in the UEFA Champions League final in 2014, where Atletico was seconds away from winning the trophy until Sergio Ramos' header in an equalizer right at the death, and Real Madrid won the game in extra time. Number 7. Arsenal vs Tottenham Hotspur. Moving on to North London, we have the North London Derby, one of the fiercest rivalries in English football. Quality football, electrifying pace, and unexpected results are regularities in the North London Derby. This is one game with the highest attendance in both stadiums. Arsenal is the more successful team between the two, and they've also won more trophies. Spurs have been a stubborn challenge in recent years, however. Number 6. Bayern Munich vs Borussia Dortmund. Nicknamed Der Klassiker, Bayern Munich vs Borussia Dortmund is the biggest rivalry German football has to offer. The two times these teams meet in a single season, the stakes are high, and none of the teams settle for less. This rivalry came to life in the 90s when Dortmund won successive Bundesliga titles in 1995 to 96. Since the last decade, the two have been going neck and neck to be the best team in the country, and almost often, Bayern manages to get the spoils of war. Number 5. Inter Milan vs Juventus. The Italian derby is the rivalry between Inter Milan and Juventus, two of the biggest clubs in Italy. This derby has many history and clashes behind it, such as the one in 1960-61, where Inter Milan had their win overturned. The most recent controversy in history for this fixture was when Juventus were involved in a match-fixing scandal in 2006. They were stripped of the Series A title and relegated to Series B. Inter Milan, who finished second place that season, was awarded the title. Number 4. Manchester United vs Manchester City. The Manchester Derby goes back a long time. Manchester City was the first of the two clubs to be founded, but Manchester United's fortune as a football club changed for the good when Sir Alex Ferguson was hired in 1986. For the next 3 decades, he transformed Manchester United into one of the most successful clubs in the world. And City, during that time, was nowhere near them in terms of quality. That was until City's new owners came in 2008, and have since won several Premier League titles, including the most recent one, and are currently the better team in Manchester. Number 3. Inter vs AC Milan. The Milan Derby is the biggest rivalry in Italy. Both teams have a single home stadium, and both teams always have a point to prove in this game. The origins of this derby are traced back to a social divide between fans. Inter attracted the higher class, whereas AC Milan attracted working-class fans. It is tough to separate the two, considering both have 18 Series A titles. This match holds great importance for players and the fans of the club. Number 2. Liverpool vs Manchester United. Liverpool vs Manchester United is not simply the biggest team on Merseyside versus the biggest team in Manchester. It is a competition between the biggest clubs in England. Both clubs have won a combined 137 trophies. Both cities are only 35 miles apart, making it a fierce derby. The two teams have competed at the highest level for the last 30 years. Liverpool dominated at the start, but then Manchester United bounced back in the era under Sir Alex Ferguson. Right now, Liverpool is the better team, with Manchester United undergoing their rebuild since Sir Alex's departure in 2013. Number 1. Barcelona vs Real Madrid. The El Clásico is possibly the biggest game in football history. It pits two of the most successful Spanish clubs against each other, and every time these two teams play, millions of people around the world tune in apart from the 90,000 odd watching them live. This rivalry has been ignited in the last decade because of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. The two have given us one of the greatest individual football rivalries of all time, and Barcelona and Real Madrid were a massive part of it.